Happy Memorial Day and welcome back to Rowdy Time. And we're coming off an absolutely fabulous weekend of baseball here in North Texas, where not the heat, home runs, or even food poisoning could stop the Rangers over Toronto. And isn't it amazing how one at-bat, one swing of the bat can change an entire outlook? If it wasn't for one swing, even if they'd still taken 2 of 3 in the series, they'd have been a 500 team over this past week, and everyone would still be complaining that this team sucks all of a sudden. But no, one swing of Josh Hamilton's bat, and instead we have a 3-game sweep of the Blue Jays. Our offense is back on track, and they're back up to 6.5-game lead on the AL West. This is why I love baseball more than any other sport, because it truly is a game that's not over until the final play, and it's one of the reasons why, with the Mavericks out now, I'm way more into baseball now than whoever wins in the NBA playoffs. I'd like to thank Josh and the Rangers for giving me not 1, but 2 free meals thanks to their home runs over the weekend. Keep up those second-inning bombs, guys, and you're gonna drive Denny's out of business. And I could tell you some stories about the tweets I was reading after the Blue Jays took the lead in the 13th inning of that second game on Saturday. Everyone was jumping off the bandwagon, ready to quit on this team again, and by the end of the game, they were rushing to try and jump back on. Sorry guys, this thing's going full throttle and we aren't stopping to pick up anyone who was late to board or got off too soon. That does somewhat segue into something I guess I need to bring up. It was announced over the weekend that the Rangers have already hit the 1 million mark in attendance, which was a club record for fewest number of games to do so. Yeah, and it only took making the World Series 2 years in a row for people to start finally paying attention to this team, when other areas draw that many for teams that haven't gone anywhere in a century. Look, I'm sorry. I know that I've annoyed a lot of people in the stands and close friends these past few years about my belief in the apathy to outright hatred that this area has for baseball and the Rangers. You just have to understand, after years of dealing with horrible crowds, even when we had winning teams, and so many people ridiculing us die-hard baseball fans for liking a sport that they think isn't entertaining, it's made me a little jaded towards whether or not this area can ever truly support baseball. Remember, we had playoff teams back in the 1990s when we also had a much better economy and thus more money to spend, and the Rangers still couldn't draw 3 million in attendance. Can they finally do it this year? I want to think so, but I just still have this nagging doubt that it will only take 1 heat wave or 1 losing streak and we'll be back to seeing 15,000 in attendance for every game. If you think I'm being too hard on this area, all I say is please prove me wrong. Other than that, to anyone watching this show, I would love to get your comments on how I can make it better. Keep watching for some new things. Other than that, to anyone watching this show, I would love to get your comments on how I can make it better. Keep watching for some new things I hope to add to this site. And of course, thank you to everyone alive and no longer with us who has fought to keep this country strong. And as always, stay rowdy, my friends.